Hello. Happy Wednesday before Valentine's Day. I remember those days when I used to tell myself I was celebrating Singles Awareness Day. And well, we are just not doing that anymore. We are not celebrating Singles Awareness Day. We are celebrating beautiful Love Ourselves days because that is the way we should always be doing things, loving ourselves full-heartedly and who we are, knowing our truth, and learning to celebrate who we are because we are amazing, strong women. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome. I see you here on Facebook. Welcome to the group. I hope you can hear me. There's a very small delay between the live stream and my Facebook, my VIP Zoom meeting. Feel free to join if you want to interact easier, but I can see the comments. So welcome. I'm happy you're here. So excited to be talking today with you ladies, and I hope that you will join me as we collaborate this fine Wednesday evening to work on setting some goals for ourselves and what self-love looks like. We kind of had another video recently, so about the foundation of what self-love means. And for me, I strongly believe it's rooted in my love of Jesus and God and who I am in Him because I just didn't know what I was missing out on without knowing his true love and grace and mercy. I, was saying just a little bit ago that several years ago I used to celebrate, I guess before my marriage, I celebrated like Singles Awareness Day instead of Valentine's Day. But now since being divorced and like learning to love myself, actually who I am, now I just am celebrating a day of love to love myself, a day to um, honor who I've become as a mom, as a wife before when I was married, or as a just a woman, like that is different for everybody. So that's kind of why I'm mentioning all these different things. And I think it's beautiful to not only show love to others of who we love, right? Because Valentine's Day is one of those kind of hallmark holidays that we give love to others and we expect others to love us, right? Like if you're in a relationship or you are courting someone, you hope that that may be something that comes about. But I also want to think about how we are loving ourselves, right? So I was excited that this fell so close to the holiday, so we could talk about that. For me, I know that loving myself has been this amazing journey where I have come to the realization some years ago now. I think I started this. So I started realizing that I didn't love myself once I separated from my toxic divorce, pre-divorce to situation, separated after, being together with somebody for 6 years, devoting my life to them, and realizing that, oh, I kind of was idolizing this person a little bit more than I should have been. Instead of idolizing God, who now I believe is my first idol, right? And loving and serving God, and then by then coming back to be able to love myself in an honoring way, the way He would love me, and then loving others the way He loves me, and I love Him, Him as in God, then I probably would have been able to have a more successful matrimony myself. I personally did not pick very, very wisely. Looking back, I realized that I didn't love myself. And because I didn't love myself, I made poor choices and poor decisions in my life. Not only with my ex-husband, right, but with pretty much almost every area of my life, from friendships, from obviously relationships before this person. Like my self-love issues were not from my ex-husband or my ex-partners. It was just accumulation of life, right? I made not good health choices. I just made a lot of negative choices that I probably today, well, no, I know that the woman I am today would not make those same choices now. Especially, I'm a single mom. I would love to think about getting into a relationship. I date here and there. There's this one guy I've been dating for a little while, but like nothing serious. Don't really know where that's going to go yet. Um, but like I would much rather be happy alone and single and celebrate my own love within myself with the love of you women warriors in my life, celebrate the love of, you know, God and Christ in my life. And yeah, I really strongly believe that that is a big part of my healing journey and my self-love journey, you know. So it's beautiful to be able to come back and think like, wow, you know, I started in this place that was so dark before, and now I have returned or I have grown into this woman that I want to become. You know, I'm here with you. So thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, anybody else that watches this team replay, you know, anybody else that's joining us later. And know that I absolutely am so thankful for you, and I feel the love of being here. And this journey to inspire self love, this movement, this Facebook group, this Zoom group, this YouTube, like all the socials, right? Like it's here because it's one of the ways that I'm showing love to myself by remembering who I was and remembering who I am becoming, because I'm not only am I like have grown in my self love, but I still have more to do. I still have more self love that I can grow into because I'm human, right? I have lived in this place my whole life, right? I'm 33 years old. And, you know, I think when I was really young, I think most of us just naturally love ourselves. But at some point in our young years, for many of us, at least for me, we kind of fall away from that natural self-love. So if you relate, go ahead, type relate in the comments. Like this is definitely very interactive. Even if you're watching a replay, you know, go ahead, put relate in the comments if you can relate where at some point maybe we fell off of the self-love like train or bandwagon. I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say there specifically. But, you know, life shapes us and sometimes our self-love falls a little bit or we ignore it or we neglect ourselves, right? Like I neglected myself a lot. So this is part of loving myself, being here with you ladies, being here online, trying to assert this thought in the world that no matter how hard things have been in our lives, no matter how many battles we face inside of ourselves, no matter the ugly life we may have lived before up till now or may experience in the future, like life is worth fighting for. Life is worth living. We are worth loving ourselves. We are worthy of being able to change our mindset from a self-hating place to an I love myself place. Um, and not in a sense of like, you know, some people might say like, oh, well, it's so selfish to love yourself. And it's like, it's actually the healthiest thing that we could do. Loving ourselves uplifts those around us because when we are able to love ourselves, we're able to serve those around us better. Because when you are depleted, when you're unable to, you know, speak to yourself, when you're unable to stand up for what you need, when you're unable to speak your desires, we're a lot more easily manipulated. We are easily pulled away from the truth. We may not live our life how we want to. And then sometimes that builds resentments. You know, I know for me, I ended up building a lot of resentments in those places. And that's part of what led to a lot of dismay that I had. So I'm excited to continue on talking about how we can set some goals together. And it would be awesome for you to collaborate with me if you're online, if you're in the chat or watching the replay. You know, feel free to drop your comments as we go and or get yourself a pen and a journal, write down some things. So for me, that's one of my goals this year is to be here live with you all at least every other week. I am excited. I'm committed. I have been trying to do this for a couple years now. And, you know, like I said, this is my self love journey too. So sometimes I fall off. Sometimes I am living life. Sometimes I'm being a single mom and head up over my, like water over my head, not knowing what I'm doing. But that's okay because I'm here, I'm learning, I'm not going to go away permanently. Last year, I did go through a lot of like dental work and dental things. And I think that shame and guilt of experiencing the lack of teeth in my face and what that did to my like just facial structure, what that did to my health. Like that was really hard and challenging. So I did fall away. So for those of you that are here, that have been here since the beginning, thank you so much. I value your time. I value your love and support. And for those of you that are new, welcome. I am a single mom. I'm 33 this year right now. I'll be 34 in a couple of months. Well, really a few weeks, like 5, 6 weeks. So excited. And yeah, I've shared a little bit about myself already, but single mom to a 4.5-year-old. She'll be 5 this year. I really do this out of love for my creator, who I want to give a lot of credit to, because I realized the first couple years I didn't give enough credit to my, creator. Hi, Charlotte. I see you joined us online. Appreciate you being here. So much love. Thank you for being here. Yay. Um, let's see here. So yeah, so today we're just chatting about some self-love goals, kind of talking about my journey, how this is part of me learning to inspire self-love, wanting to remind other women that we are worthy of loving ourselves and taking care of our needs and speaking our needs so that we're able to fulfill our own inner desires and dreams and also uplift those around us. So for me, that includes you guys, you women warriors. For me, that also includes my daughter. For me, that includes my other friends in life that I have both online and not online. It includes trying to find myself further, becoming the woman I want to be. And so those are some of the goals that I have, right? Is like wanting to be here, show up, and just try to keep talking about this movement of inspiring self-love, because I think a lot of women fall off track. We get so caught up in mom life, wife life, you know, that we forget, like, where's me life, right? Where's my turn to focus on me, to take care of myself. So yes, I was talking a little bit about my health stuff. So that health things I went through last year really stopped me and kind of put me aback. I also stopped and kind of served my mom for a while. She broke her foot. I started getting active again because I had all my teeth stuff happening. And then finally I was feeling good. I stopped to take care of my mom. My mom broke her foot last Labor Day. I think it was Labor Day. And so I had been here every week, realized, every week is a little bit too much for me as a single mom. And this year we're doing every other week, and hopefully that will work out better for all of us. I know we all live busy lives, so I hope you'll rejoin me. And so excited to be here. So I wanted to have this be a little bit of a collaborative session for women warriors who are here live in the mastermind group, online in Facebook, or watching the replay, because you are still here, even if it's replayed. Okay, so hashtag team replay if you're here watching the replay. My computer's doing some funny stuff here, but that's okay. So yeah, talking about goals, like I'd love to give you an opportunity to think about what you would love to see from yourself for yourself regarding self-love. I will give some ideas of goals that I had when I very first started my journey. And then if anybody wants to share in the comments, if I would love to read out your comment and just have this be participated while you're here. But for me, when I started my self-love journey, it was filled with a lot of goals of like simple life goals. Yes, self-love is a goal I need. Yes, thank you, Charlotte. I appreciate that. It's an important goal. So for me, when I first started, like I don't even know, I haven't shared Sumer a lot of my story. I mean, I have in some senses, but like I didn't ever get to like that real fine nitty-gritty pain that I felt, because I was so ashamed of that pain that I felt deep inside of my soul, especially when I started, as I mentioned before, I started my journey after I separated from a toxic marriage. I had been with this person for 6 years. I had devoted so much time to them. I tried so hard to make it work, and it just wouldn't work. So when I left, after I had tried, I'd offered counseling. I was doing counseling myself. I was looking for answers anywhere I could get them. And so when I first started my self-love journey, I didn't love myself. I was so close to insanity that I can't even begin to tell you. Like, I could have been checked into an insane asylum if I had continued on that route that I had been on. And that was really scary, you know. And the scariest part of all is I was in such big denial that nobody knew. Nobody knew I was hiding this part of my life so well. You know, I think most people, and I think some of you ladies here tonight in the group, know me as a positive, cheery person. And yeah, I had always kind of been that way. However, I also always struggled through some dark days, some darkness, you know, like as a young person in like middle school. Well, I think high school was when I started self-harming. I self-harmed in high school, you know, and a lot of people are always shocked to hear that. It's like, yeah, I know, it's crazy, huh? Like we all go through life. Um, and I grew up as an only child. I kind of got bullied a bit, like especially in elementary school, like we all do, right? And okay, maybe not everybody, but I think most of us probably have gone through that. And so when I started coming to this realization I needed to love myself, I had so much built up shame because I had been lying to those around me, to myself about how perfect things had been going when they actually were really, really not going well. Um, so yeah, that was definitely where I'm at. And if you're there and you can relate, Charlotte, I see you saying I can relate. You know, I just want you to know that you're not alone in those things, you know, and why I'm here because I want to share that as well, that we may all experience different situations, right? Like my experience isn't going to be the same as your experience or as, you know, Lucy or Daisy or, you know, I'm just coming up with random names at this point. But as an example, right? Like we may not all share the same experience, but some of those feelings and some of those battles that we're facing and have faced and may continue to face, like I said earlier, like those are not new. We all face those in some way, shape, or form in our lifetime. And it really is dependent on who we want to be, right? And what we want to allow in our life and change in our life. And I know when I started, I didn't think I could make any changes. I thought I was kind of stuck with who I was, that who I was just who I was. But let's be real, we all are who we are because of what we do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, or year by year. I'm guilty. I have had a lot of bad habits in my life, and I'm still working on changing some of those. But that's okay. Loving myself a little bit now will allow me and help me to continue to improve and to become the woman I actually want to be versus who I was told I need to be or who I, you know, felt like I needed to become to please those around me. And I think it's just beautiful to remember that no matter where we have been, that we can take back our power and choose to have a metamorphosis within ourselves. And depending on where you are in your life, it may be a bigger challenge or it may be an easier challenge, but it's always going to be a challenge. And that challenge is so worth it. So I'm here again. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited. Let's see. I know I keep saying that. Maybe every other week isn't enough for me. Maybe it's a little too much time in between seeing you all. I'm just so excited to be here again. Let's see here. Where was I going? So setting goals for ourselves. I would love for us to set some goals. So I was going to share some of my beginning goals. Welcome. I think somebody else is joining us. Setting up our goals here for our self-love journey can be baby steps when we begin, right? So I know when I began my self-love journey, I had to set some goals that seemed so basic, so basic. that you would maybe laugh at me today, or you might think like, oh, I should do that, right? It can be little goals that make a big difference when you compound the effect of them. So I'll share. So, I've had these dental issues and things. One of my goals was I need to floss more often. And I should probably bring that one back because I was doing really good at flossing for a very long time. But like it was one of those like daily wins. Like, okay, I flossed my teeth today. So I just met that self-love goal. And so I can be proud of myself for that little moment. You know, some days it would be I want to make my bed today because I didn't make my bed, and I want to be someone that makes my bed. So that was a small goal that I experienced myself. Let's see, I see like I'm losing my Facebook feed here, but we'll see if that comes back. I'm not sure what happened. You're on Facebook. Can you hear me still? That'd be good. If you can, tell me yes in the comments. I hope somebody can still hear me.
I
The
know I can.
Sweet. Okay, perfect. At least you can hear. Oh, my picture's back on Facebook. Wonderful. Um, so yes, so little wins, right? Little wins of let's drink enough water, which I'm gonna take a drink. If you got water nearby, take a drink. If you don't have water nearby and you can, grab a water. Um, these little goals of drinking enough water every day, brushing and flossing our teeth, setting up our annual appointments, like these can be small goals that can make a big step, like a big difference in our lives. Another goal that I had that I really needed just because I came from such a really big place of not loving myself is anytime I had a bad thought, because I had a lot of intrusive thoughts at the beginning of my self love journey because of where I had come from in such a toxic relationship in a toxic space with toxic friends. And I was toxic. Like I was so toxic to myself, right? So anytime that I would hear my little brain voice inside my head that would be like, "Oh, Tanya, you're so fat." Like I would stop myself and I would have this mantra that I created for myself to love myself further. I would say, I am loved because my creator loves me. I am full of love because I receive love. And I give love because I'm full of it, right? Okay, now I'm explaining my mantra. Let me give you my mantra first because now I'm trying to explain it and give it at the same time. So I used to say these things to myself and I would repeat it to myself often. I would say, I receive love, I am full of love, I give love, and I am love. And I think I'm missing one because it's a little bit a while. Oh, and I am worthy of love. And what a blessing. I don't have to tell myself that every single day, although I should, because it's such a great reminder that I am full of love. I am able to receive love. Oh, I am loved. That was the beginning. I am loved. I receive love. I am full of love. I give love and I am loved because my creator loves me. I am loved no matter what, whether I believe it or I don't believe it. I am baseline loved. Now, the people around me might not make me feel that way, but we are trying to love ourselves within without the idea of other people around us because I truly believe in order to love other people fully, we have to love ourselves. And I attest, like, I can't love myself fully if I don't know, the love of Christ, the love that my creator has done for me. Um, so yeah, so that was one of the things, and I told that to myself often. Another goal that I had when I first started, besides repeating my mantra, is I would listen to positive content online. We are constantly listening to music, we're constantly seeing programming, whether that's movies, commercials, YouTube videos, whatever. I would start my day every day with a sermon that was, sermons are usually uplifting and share the love of God with us, share scripture with us. So I would start my life with that, my mornings with that, which I guess is life. And if it wasn't that, it was like a motivational video, right? Like you can YouTube motivational, self-love videos, anything that you feel like you need that day, like how can I find happiness today, motivational video, and just pick one that looks good and pick it and listen to it. Like those were very easy goals at the beginning. Um, let's see here. So it looks like Charlotte, you're being interactive with us. Thank you so much on Facebook. I love the collaboration. She put a couple goals here. She says, love my body. Yes, I also agree. I'm always working on loving my body more. For me, and I don't know where your goals are going with that, but for me, one of the things I used to tell myself was I love myself. I love my body. I love who I am. I love who I'm becoming. Like those are some of those in the mirror mantras I would say. Or whenever I'd walk by a mirror, I would tell myself, girl, you look good, like you gotta flirt with yourself a little bit sometimes, or tell yourself like I am beautiful, I am worthy, I am loved. Just to kind of remind ourselves that we have beautiful bodies. Another one that too, like especially like after I had my child, I have one child. Moms, for those of you that have more than one child, um, like our bodies change, right? So I used to also tell myself like I love my body because it's given me my daughter. I love my body because it allows me to experience this. Another goal that was written here is to be more present in the moment. And that's such a fabulous goal. I know I have also had that goal myself, is to enjoy this moment and to not allow my brain to carry on and think too far outside of, the moment right now. Um, and that's really where finding the joy comes from, right? Like we can find joy in living our moment today, right now. Another goal that's written here in the comments is getting tasks done around the house. Oh, yes, I that's such a great goal. I also love that goal. I'm like a nerdy person, okay? Like I know school wasn't like the best. Like okay, I was nerdy in school too, but like college, I kind of wasn't super into college. Um, but like I'm a checklist person. So I get me my notebook and I like mark my little boxes that I can like write on that I can check and I'm like, okay, clean kitchen, clean off counters. Like sometimes the more check boxes is just motivational, right? So clean the counter, wash the dishes, put away the dishes, start the laundry, wash the laundry, dry the laundry. that one's okay. I personally normally do wash, dry, and put away because I don't know about any of you guys, but my laundry gets stuck in the dryer and I forget to put it to wash or to dry. I'm just not good at that whole washing, drying, putting away system personally. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I have some towels that I need to dry and they're still in my washing machine. So thank you. That's a good one. Good reminder. I have a task board, but I have a hard time doing it. Yeah, and maybe that's where you have to set the smaller goal, right? Like what's one thing I could do today by 11 a.m.? What's one more thing I can do today by 2 p.m., 3 p.m., whatever time. We all have our own life and what works best for us. Or I also like this. It's a good trick with my daughter sometimes is I'll be like, okay, let's clean for 15 minutes. And V, I think we've talked about this too, where we like set a timer and for 15 minutes we are cleaning as much as we can and then we're done. And that's it for now. Like that's a great method as well to get things done around our home, just for ourselves. Okay, 15 minutes. Like I can find 15 minutes to, hopefully it doesn't take me 15 minutes to floss my teeth, but to do a couple of those things for ourselves, right? Charlotte says, "Love it." Yes, girl. Yes, it's the little things. They build up. And I'm guilty. I still have to do that all the time myself. Like I think I'd be more productive personally if I were to do that. Um, Another couple things that I've had goals to do, and this is one I'm really proud of this year because, like I said, I really want to focus my love in Jesus more this year, in my love of God. And one thing I myself have never done is read the Bible in its full entirety from the beginning to the end, or just the whole thing in general. So I am this year, that's one of my goals. And to me, it's a way to love myself further because since I believe that, God loves me and I love him, and that's how I get to grow in connection with him is to read that Bible. So this year I'm doing the Bible recap. I'm really excited. I'm been staying on track. I'm reading like 2 to 3 chapters a day, taking notes. I got myself like a journaling Bible because I like to get all, nerdy on that. And so the little things that bring me joy, I'm doing when it comes to my Bible reading. And I'm really excited about it. So that's one of the goals I'm working on this year. And so if you're somebody that likes to talk about Jesus or likes to talk about God or don't know where to start, like join me on that because I'd love some more Christian friends to speak to about it. I really am so excited. Right now though, I'm in like the end of Exodus and there's been a lot of like architectural like drafting of the tabernacle and I'm a little stuck on that, but it's okay. I'm slightly not excited to get into Leviticus again because I did listen to it this last year, but that's okay. Sometimes we do things that we don't necessarily like working out. I don't really love working out, but I gotta do that anyway too. And it's also a way to love myself, right? Let's see here. I have a friend that's saying here, Charlotte online. I need to do that as well, but I get stuck on the language. So something that I hear regarding the Bible and the language, Charlotte, in case you're interested in hearing, um, there are multiple translations that are out there, right? And they say that you got to find the one that speaks to you the most. I mean, most of them, they have tons of people that are involved in translating these or interpreting or, rewriting them in different languages. I have a couple versions I like. I really like the NLT, the New Living Translation. I feel like that one's very easy to read for me, and I'm able to like understand what it's saying a little bit more. And then there's also the English Standard Version, the ESV, which is also super helpful. And I'll tell you, I cheat. Okay, I don't totally cheat, but I kind of cheat. I actually have this app that's called the YouVersion Bible app, and that's actually where I'm doing the reading plan and it also will read the Bible to you. So I enjoy listening to it, and then I also listen and read it at the same time. Um, I got an itch on my back. Oh, sorry, guys. Sometimes I have to slow down or go back verses because like the reading is faster than what I'm reading in the real life. But that's kind of fun, right? So you can pause it, you can go back. Sometimes I like listen to the same verse a few times, and then I like to notate and make notes. Or I know Tara Lee Cobble, who's doing the Bible recap, she also says that you can listen to it in the morning. Like, she recommends doing it in the morning. I totally do mine at nighttime, but we all find what works best for us. Um, she says she listens to it first without the book in front of her. And then later she goes back and does the reading after she's listened to it once. That way it's a little bit more of a familiar story or like familiar chapter or passages. And then she can go back and make more notes, read it slower on her time. So I would recommend that if you're interested in doing that as well. And if you do, let me know. I'd love to talk about it. I think it's a beautiful thing that we can get so much knowledge in the Bible today and that there's so much relevance in the Bible today and that can help us so much. Like, oh my goodness, ladies, the book of Job was so transformational. Like last year, it has just helped me so much. I realized that a lot of the things that I had suffered through as a younger person, like that dark, evil stuff I was kind of touched on earlier, like it was right there in the book, right there. And I'm like, wow. So I'm not the only one that's felt this. It's not the first time that I felt this. It's not the first time, the last time, and it's not original. Like I wanting to like not live anymore was not original. Like it is the same playbook that the devil plays on all of us. So it's so important to guard our minds, our heart, and our soul, and to armor up with the word of God because that is what, bringing the sword to the battlefield when it comes to that war inside of us that I know I've experienced a lot time and time again, and I continue to fight through days. And yeah, it's such a beautiful thing. So anyway, sorry, I digressed there. Um, yes, I'm just checking my chat on Zoom, make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't think I am. Yeah, feel free to put in the chat if you're on Zoom. I will interact with your comments, goals, if you have any you want to share, or anything you want to add as we're talking about our goals for setting self-love. So yeah, so let's see. I've talked about my current goals. I shared some old, like before goals that I had. My current goals this year is to read that Bible and to show up here every other week with you, women warriors. I need to double check some of my weeks. I know I planned a trip for my birthday weekend, like my birthday week. So I'm excited about that. So I may reschedule that one, but I want to be here at least twice a month, live with the group of women warriors in some way, shape, or form. So those are my top two goals. I also want to, I'm currently starting the carnivore diet. I don't know if some of you I've shared this with. Maybe you've seen it on my Facebook. I haven't been super public about it because it's kind of new to me, but I am wanting to, you know, be healthier, eat healthier. And I'm doing pretty good. I think I lost like 14 pounds this first month of doing it. I was feeling defeated and I was like, oh, I'm still feeling so fat right now because I kind of gained back some weight. But it's like, it's okay, Tanya. Love yourself. You're beautiful no matter how much you weigh. But like, we want to just keep working out. So be kind to yourself and let's just figure out a new plan of action. Let's see here. Comments coming in. Hi, I have loved allowing love in. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Yes, it's important to allow ourselves to feel that love. One of the things I also did for that when I was beginning was that meditation. I don't know if you're practicing meditation or not, but there's a really awesome self-love meditation by healing. What's his name? My phone's in use. What's his name? I wonder if I could Google it real quick. Let me Google it and tell you because I really love that sound bath. And if you, I'm going to talk to myself here. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. Shh. YouTube. Didn't mean to pull open my own YouTube video here. Um, yeah, it's a good one. Let's see. Just close out of that. Self-love sound healing. Search that. Here we go. Healing Vibrations. I knew I was going to get it wrong. He has a great self-love sound bath and I love it. I listen to it all the time. And there's other ones that you can YouTube and listen to, even if it's just, even if you're not meditating. Like I love to put it on when I'm reading, when I'm cleaning, when I'm resting, whatever time you need to put it on to just give yourself a little boost. Like it is so nice to just listen to this harmony and it's just supposed to allow in self-love. Let's see here, more comments. Yay, great job. Thank you on the like weight loss. This is weight loss related. I lost 60 pounds and now I've gained 30 back. So I need to get back on track on a healthier me. Yes, Queen, me too. I feel you. Some of us we lose too much weight and we got to gain weight. Some of us we gain weight and we got to lose weight. Some of us kind of go back and forth every now and then. I'm guilty. Um, like I totally went back up to like my post baby weight, like my when I got divorced weight. I was like, wow, what happened? Um, I have a sound bowl and I love it. Yes, it's sound bowls are pretty. I enjoy listen. I have one too, but I totally enjoy listening to it more than doing it, more than making it try myself. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh yes, the I don't remember where I was. Now I got distracted. Well, okay, I'm gonna come back. So yeah, setting those self-love goals, ladies. I'm thankful that you're here. Did I raise my own hand on here? I sure did. I'm gonna put it down. um, Learning to love ourselves, I think is such a beautiful cause. It takes time. I want everyone to know if you're here, whether you're beginning your journey, in the middle, at the end, well, are we at the end? We never really know when our last day is. So I guess any day could be the end of our love journey in general. But God willing, we'll all have several more years to come. And learning to love ourselves in those years, so crucial, so important. Does anybody else have any goals they want to share or have any questions they want to ask or, just any thoughts on the mind? V, you're online, I know, so you're welcome to speak it if you'd like. This is being recorded, so it is on the on the Facebook channel, the Facebook Women Warriors group. Let's see. Yes, you have raised your hand, V. Go ahead.
It's amazing. You went from we're going to do little steps, like lots saying, and doing these little self-care too. I'm reading the Bible, and it's the whole thing. It seems like a really big picture, and the really big picture filters down a big like goal, like I am loved and I am loved, and so then I'm going to take care of myself. And so many times I've tried to love myself so that I can actually open up and have a conversation, you know, and trust that I'm going to be heard. And if I don't have that self-love, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm going to be heard. I'm thinking, what do we have to do to feel alive and feel like I deserve love? There you go.
What do you have to do? Are you asking?
Like how hard, I think, yeah, how hard is it sometimes when we're just really the self-esteem, we've just heard all the things that we're doing wrong, and it isn't done to anybody. It's just, I forgot something. I burnt the food. I misplaced the phone. And then there's this thing like, look at what you do wrong instead of, the kindness. So, um, what's the way that you speak so that you can show yourself self-love, show kindness?
Well, I'm not sure if you were here or not. I kind of shared that, right? And maybe, and this is where you kind of have to come up with your own specific mantras, right? Like what specifically for you do you need to improve on, right? And I know we've discussed this before, but just a reminder, right, for those that haven't heard it, but if there's particular phrases or things or, the things that happen in our life that trigger us, right? Because there's always something that happens that triggers a thought or something that occurs that triggers either a specific type of thought, an actual like specific phrase, or a feeling. I think it's important personally, and I've done this before in my life as well, is to make note of what it is that's happening before I get that feeling, right? Like there used to be a tool that I had, and I might have to look it up. I think I have it somewhere. I think it's in my workshop, like in my course. But it talks about how you have to allow an incident happens, right? So let me come up with an example, unless somebody wants to throw out an example. Like, so I'm gonna try to use a real life one. Okay, so like at my work, I've had challenging time with a manager, right? So I had a bad experience with this manager. And then my brain went to, I'm not a good employee. Like, I don't think this person likes me. Like, what if they're trying to fire me? And then I have to go back, take a step back and look at that situation and say, and ask myself the biggest questions like, what happened? And did I have control over it? Some of it, for example, with this like leader, like I had been doing my job. They were brand new. They didn't know what I was doing. So when they came in and asked me, like, well, explain your job, like, what is it that you do? Like, the way that it was being asked felt very critical and condescending, and it felt very demeaning of who I was. So now I have to really assess the situation. Like, is that something that's my fault, or is it that this person doesn't understand? So then at that point, I kind of stop and I have to think, okay, but is it really something I'm doing or is it not? And if it is something that I'm not doing, then I have to remember I have to separate that experience, right? Like that is that person going through their growth, through their moment, through their misunderstanding, through their own learning experience, and I have to separate my feelings about their action or reaction, right? And this kind of goes into that coda line, right, Veronica? I know you and I talk about coda stuff, and for those online that don't know, I'm definitely a codependent sometimes, and I participate in Codependence Anonymous. And so, big helper in growth too, especially if this is a topic that's relatable, where we feel other people's experiences, behaviors, or actions drastically like hurt me as a person. Then that's something that I think I would recommend for anybody that feels that way. So separating that, right? Now, on the flip side, if it's something that I do to myself or I have done, it's I have the actual control over that situation, then at that point, then it's time to learn and grow from it, right? We don't need to get mad at ourselves. We don't need to be mean to ourselves. We don't need to speak poorly about ourselves. We need to love ourselves through that. So instead of, you know, telling myself all these negative things because my boss doesn't agree with me, we don't communicate well, we don't understand, I can say, okay, we don't communicate very well. Don't communicate well, but that's okay. I do my own job. I know what I do. I do my job well. I go above and beyond my job, even if this lady doesn't get that. And so I'm going to choose to make the best of that situation that I can. And there was some weird times, like I'm currently transitioning. So I started making for my this example, I started making like orientation pages and workflows and like an orientation book because I knew I might be transitioning. And even if I wasn't going to transition into a current job role into a different role that's the same but different. I know that's confusing, but even if it wasn't that, like then I would have made a decision for myself like, okay, I'm going to give this newish manager another 6 months or a year or however long, and I'm going to start seeking a new opportunity for myself that's going to better align with my life and what I need, right? So that was something I can control. I can't control who my manager is, but I can control if I want to be around this manager for the rest of my working career or if I want to look for something else. Um, I can also control my attitude regarding the manager, right? I can also control my own mind's verbiage about the manager, right? Like at first it was like, she doesn't like me. What if she's being racist? Like, what if she's trying to fire me? And it's like, okay, Tanya, stop. Put the brakes on, stop, stop. Yeah, there are literal things that were going on in my head. I think as part of my weight gain was the stress of it all. And so I literally had to be like, no, Tanya, she's not trying to fire you. She's the new manager. She's got poor people skills. She doesn't know what she's doing. That's fine. That is her business. Separate, Tanya. Separate your brain from her business, and just do what needs you need to do for you. So, Veronica, I don't know if that helped answer your question a little bit. Also, back to the mantras, making your own mantras. Like if you constantly tell yourself, because right, we say this to ourselves, like, oh, I burn that. I'm whatever bad word or I'm whatever. I'm not gonna throw those examples exactly because I personally try not to use those. Something it's like, you know what? I made a mistake. I can grow from this. I can do better next time. Okay, so maybe I get distracted when I'm cooking, so maybe I should stay by the stove. Okay, I get distracted cooking. Maybe instead of leaving the kitchen, I could put away some dishes that are still in the kitchen. Okay, maybe if I get distracted from cooking, I could set a timer. Okay, check food in 10 minutes, 5 minutes, stir food in 5 minutes, whatever it is. Like we all have our own things that only we know, our own triggers, our own things that happen. So I just encourage you to maybe even keep a log of what those things are. And if you see any reoccurring ones, like come up with a mantra or something that you can talk to yourself about regarding that. Sorry, that was kind of a mouthful. I think you guys get the point. Um, Veronica, I don't see that any other notes here in your chat, but that's okay. Let's see, Charlotte, I see you mentioned some things here in the comments. Let me get to you. It says something my sister used to do to me is if I say something negative about something have I have to say three positive things in return. Yes, that's also a very great example because they do say that for every one negative thing, it takes up to three things to erase that, right? Um, and so that's also a good one, right? And sometimes if you need to make it fast paced because you're stuck in a bad mindset, is like you say one bad thing and just repeat those three things right away. Like that's why that mantra, I don't know if you guys remember, let's see, I can remember it now. Like I am love, I receive love. I am full of love. I give love. I am love. Those are five positive things in one mantra for myself to remember. Because when I caught myself doing that, it was just like horrible negative things. Like I would get into that spiral and think about it. And then I would repeat it. I would just repeat that. I am loved. I receive love. I'm full of love. I give love. I am love. I am loved. I receive love. I give love. I am full of love. I am love, right? Like I would repeat that to myself like two or three times, and then I would continue on with my day. And then something else would happen that same day, 15 minutes later, 2 minutes later at the beginning. And I just would say that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And now it's like in me, like I am that person. I love myself. I can give love. I receive love. And sometimes it's hard is learning how to receive that love. Okay, let's see. Charlotte, example. I burn the food. I did good about getting it done on time. I did good at multitasking. I got groceries shopped for something similar to that. Yeah, that's perfect. I love that. Veronica, I don't know if you heard that example. I think that one related exactly to what you were talking about. So that's a great way to think about it, right? Like not only telling yourself one time that you did something good, but mentioning the positive things around that example too. I love that, Charlotte. Did you hear that, Veronica? Yes, no. Okay, so she was saying um if you do something negative or say something negative, then to follow up with the three positives, right? So she used the example like I burned the food, right? Like negative. Her positive, that Charlotte, thank you. You're so great. You're good at coming up with on the spot examples. I failed at that today. It's like I did a good I did good about getting it done on time. So the food got done on time. That's a positive. I did a good at multitasking because you were doing that and whatever else you were doing. And I got groceries shopped for that. Right. I got the food that I needed to make that food, or I was able to prepare the meal.
Wow.
So yeah.
And you know what? I could just go up to 10. I'd be like, you know what? I can do 10. Because it doesn't even have to be with the food. It's just the idea that I want to be able to feed my family. I want to take care of my family. I care about them. I put in effort. Um, you know, oh gosh, what else can I do? There is an abundance of food. We can start again. I let it roll off my back. Um, I tell them that I love them, and I can laugh at myself. And then it makes it easier for me to not fear getting near the stove. I literally don't want to go near the stove when my youngest, he's gonna be 19. And it's like my friends tell me, why are you letting somebody run your life? I'm like, that's just what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good though. Yes, all the positives that we can do is positive, to add to who we are. And that's great. Finding the thankfulness, right? Like what are we thankful for in those situations is also a great way to turn that around. And some of us might need to hear it 10 times instead of 3 times. And if that's you, then I encourage you to do that. Any last thoughts, ladies? Anybody have anything else they want to share or add? Our time is coming to an end, but I do want to say thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
Yeah. I think that what I realize is that I can level myself up energy wise, thought wise, goal wise, when I am at that love level.
Oh,
And just like
certainly.
flip it. Yeah, it's just amazing because I thought I needed somebody to do it for me, and that's what the self part means. I can do it for my situation or whatever's happening in my life, and it's coming through, and then the love through me. Thank you,
Love
thank you,
it.
thanks be to God. Yay.
Congratulations. Praise the Lord. Yes, thank you. And it's work, right? Like that's something too. Like I always have to ask God to help me through certain things, right? Like sometimes even turning to God and making prayers or reading the Bible, like listening to a sermon, like sometimes that's what helps me zap out of that negative stuff, whether I'm listening to it while I'm cooking, cleaning, doing whatever I need to do, driving. Um, Sometimes we do get filled up by those toxic, negative things around us. So what we can do is fill ourselves and surround ourselves with positive, loving influences, right? And I see you have the Green Lights book. That's a great book. You know, doing what we need to for us. Let's see, last comment I think here from Miss Charlotte. Love you. Gotta go read to the kiddos, but I'll watch the replay. You're so awesome and I love you. Glad we're friends, even though we don't hang a lot. Yes, yes, Queen. I agree. I really want to make this like online thing, like a real life thing one day, and like that would be so cool. But like real events with real women in the room together. Like, oh, that's the end goal here. We're gonna have retreats, maybe like a weekend getaway. Like that would be so cool. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but this is the beginning. This is the beginning, ladies. If we can make this like a real thing, like let's go to Costa Rica or something and have like a women's retreat and have awesome, inspiring women speak life into us and do some meditations, do journaling, reflections, massages, like hot tubs, like the beach, enjoy the beautiful scenery of Costa Rica. Like there are so many more things to come. Like that mom getaway is necessary sometimes, right? So I'm so excited. So if you're here, thank you again for joining us, for being here. If you are catching the replay, thank you for being here. Hashtag team replay, hashtag team live. Thank you, ladies, for being here live with me and interacting with me. It's so much fun when someone's here. And in case anybody's interested in working with me further, let me know. Send me a link. I do have a digital course that I have regarding all of this with worksheets that are related to it so that we can all continue to grow, break out of some negative cycles, and learn to love ourselves some more. So, hey, well, I hope everybody has a beautiful night. I'll see you in 2 weeks. The calendar date is February 26th. So mark your calendars. We will be live again either here on Facebook in the live stream or join us on Zoom for a more personalized VIP experience. Good night.